What's up, everybody, and welcome to the iReach podcast. I'm your host, Paul Robinson, founder and CEO of ConstructReach, a national consultancy and initiative that aims to diversify the construction, design, and innovation industries and empower a younger generation. Every single week, we are here merging education, industry, and culture with a variety of featured guests that you do not want to miss. So let's go, iReach. All right, so what's up, everybody? We are back here for another iReach episode, and I've got the team here. We got the majority of our team. We've got some who are out under the weather, trying to hold it down for them here, but we've got Ebony Robinson, we've got Meredith Sanders, we've got Rebecca Wilson, who is here with us, and we're just going to be talking about some things that we do in our communities across the U.S. for those who are seeking to learn more about the industry of construction design. And it's sort of an event that's become our flagship kind of community outreach event, and it's called IBuiltThis, right? So you may see it on our ConstructReach handles. You may see it on our website. You may see just 3 letters, right, where it's IBT. That's usually how we refer to it, but it is IBuiltThis. It's becoming our flagship community engagement event. We've got them coming up this year once the school year starts, so we're super excited about that. But this is just something that I wanted us to talk through, because when you think about engaging a younger demographic and you think about doing things in a relevant way, right? It's good to kind of talk through some lessons learned, and big picture things, because we want to make sure that we're resonating with young people, that we're meeting them where they are. And what we've gathered thus far is that not only young people, but a lot of educators and industry professionals are responding well to the IBuiltThis events that we do have coming up. And so I just wanted to have the team here, just for us to talk about some of these things. And if you're listening, the goal, hopefully, is that as an employer, you're able to take some of these insights and begin to tailor it to a way that makes sense for how you can just be more effective in terms of community engagement. We're in a very interesting time where we are lending our words to certain things in terms of what we support, but I think it's a very practical way, if you will, to put those words into action. And so just want to talk a little bit with the team about IBuiltThis, okay, or IBT, as we affectionately know it and call it in reference, right? Yes. Yes. So essentially, when you think about IBuiltThis, right, the way that we have it structured today, it's a 2-day event, right? So we're coming into these communities, we're spending a week there, but we are having these 2-day events where young people get a chance to have hands-on experiences, right? And get a chance to be immersed into this simulated, if you will, job where they're being introduced to the different career pathways that exist within the industry of construction and design. And so it is for students to let them know what their options are in terms of career pathways. And it's also for educators to begin to make those connections with industry professionals, right? And so want to get a chance to talk through it, because through each one of the team members here, like, they get a chance to hit on a different lens in terms of marketing, in terms of engagement, in terms of community relationship building, right? And so, Ebony, from your perspective, right, what is IBT like? Like, what's the vibe? What's the look? What's the feel? How impactful is it?
Oh my goodness. So just imagine, right, students being submerged into an experience that they have not yet experienced when it comes to broaden their horizons about the industry and what the opportunities that the industry has to offer, right? But it's got high energy. You got people that want to be there for you to make sure that you are well equipped, right? You got industry partners that are like, okay, let's show me about a little bit more about project management, to carpentry, to electrical, to the accounting estimating side. How does technology become integrated? So you have a submersion of exposure with hands-on activities, right? That are really led by those industry partners. But in addition to that, I mean, we might dance a little bit, have some competitions here and there. You may get a chance to meet one-on-one different people throughout the industry and understand and learn from their various journeys in their career. In addition to that, right, you get a chance to really walk away with some more insights as a a budding young adult, really to be able to make a sound decision on, is this industry for me? And oh my God, my gifts and talents really can be used across several opportunities, right?
Yeah.
Various sectors. And so that's what I love about it, because here at ConstructReach, our sole purpose is to help reposture in the industry of construction, that it may be more accessible, and there's more exposure created about the industry for a younger, diverse demographic, right? And so as we begin to live that out, you know what I mean? Like, we get a chance to have these awesome epic events. We're gonna be going from coast to coast this year, and I will tell you, every time we get a chance to touch down, it's a total, like, everybody wins, right? Students get a chance to be engaged, educators get a chance to be engaged, as well as the industry gets a chance to be on the front line, right? Engaged with their hopefully future talent.
Yeah, no, it's cool, man. I mean, we've been doing this now since what, 2019.
Yeah. So
you know, and what was significant was that we got a chance to do it, you know, some of the most crucial times that we've had in the last handful of years. And of course, you know, that was 2020, you know, and then even 2021 to a certain extent. And what we saw and what we gleaned was that allowing construction to be more community centered, and bringing people behind the construction fence per se, right? And allowing people to see the different career pathways that exist, but also just to go about construction in a different way. You know, to be not so, not so focused on getting the structure done. Of course, you know, scope, schedule, budget, you still want to get that done, but allowing construction projects to be intentional. And then the fruit of that is being able to build communities simultaneously. And, you know, you can be close from a proximity standpoint, but still be far apart relationally.
Yeah, right.
You know, and I think construction has the unique opportunity to not only introduce life skills and a career, but just the sheer nature of how it works, and having to work with people who are different and gifted different and focus on different things, but completing one project together in a harmonious fashion. A lot of that translates into community development and building relationships, you know. And I want to hear like your perspective, Meredith, and Rebecca as well, because you came in like right before and I built this event, you know. So it was like, oh my gosh, you know. But yeah, like, talk to us a little bit, you know, just about your sides. Like, what are your favorite aspects about the IBuiltThis events?
Oh my goodness. So first of all, I came in February of 21, and I think our first IBuiltThis was what, Mother's Day weekend. So I had a little bit more of a buffer than Rebecca did as we geared up for this. But when people say, like, when we as a team say there's no way to describe this, we literally have to show you. Well, I mean, we're from the Show Me State, and honey, we show up and show out. Like, IBuiltThis is something you have never ever seen or experienced before. Like, there's not a highlight reel on this planet that can really like give you the experience of what IBuiltThis is. And I'd have to say that my all-time favorite piece of it, even for myself, because I had the same like, you know, mind-blowing emoji when I got there, is I hear Ebony and Paul talking about it. I hear Jan and Therese, other teammates, talking about how you're going to do this and it's that. And I've seen the videos from, what was it, Minnesota and Atlanta. I've seen those videos and I'm like, okay, this looks like a vibe. And I get there and I'm like, wait, whoa. And then you see the kids that get there and they literally are like, we're going to Target. Okay. Or we're going, you know, and then they get there and they're like, wait, I put a floor together? I turn the light switch on. Like, I mean, it's just like, wow. And that is the greatest part. The greatest part is we get to go talk to the kids. And here they are, what, 16, 17, 18, primarily 17, 18 years old. And they come in thinking they're about to watch somebody build a retaining wall at a local Target. And then they're like, I want to be an electrician. And we're not even through the entire event. They're at lunch talking about they want to be an electrician. They want to be a carpenter. They want to do this, you know, and they're like, I'm going to Home Depot today and fix the light switch in my room. And I'm like, fuck your breaks. But I love the intention. I love the energy. I love the effort. So it's just like that piece of it. And when you get to like see that and you see the impact that you make so immediate, It's not like I had to wait, 3 to 4 weeks for a survey or for 1 or 2 students to apply for a job. No, I immediately get to see before noon the change in a life that I make, that you make as a ConstructReach team member. That is the greatest part. And I myself, not that I want to go into contracting, but I myself had the same thought process. Like, again, I was prepared for this, or so I thought. And then I get to the event in Chicago and I'm like, yeah, no, I was not prepared for this at all. And like, this is something that I was like shooting video and I'm like, this is what I'm doing. And my mom's like, huh? I was like, you get it later. But it was just like, I can't even describe kind of what the event is. Like, it's literally, you have to be there.
Yeah.
You have to be there. There's just no other way to talk about it.
It is definitely, it's an experience, and it's a heavy impact, and it's immediate, like what you said. I think the biggest thing for me coming into this, like I said, this was honestly, that was also the first time I met this beautiful team. That was, I was working for 2 weeks. They came to IBT Miami.
Yeah.
So it was a lot. I was all of the
Baptism by
experiences.
fire.
10 days. 10 days in.
Yes, yes.
It's like,
So lights, camera, action, like literally.
Yeah, so I
Yes.
had no idea what to expect, right? And that's really the students' perspective as well. These kids don't know what is happening. They think a field trip. I'll be honest, I was coming in, I was like, hey, we're gonna host a field trip. What is that gonna look like? I'm the marketing specialist, so I knew I was gonna be getting content, getting footage. I was thinking about what that's gonna look like. I threw my framework out the window when I saw how the event was gonna be, because it's such a different, unique event for these kids. And going back to that impact, it was almost emotional sometimes watching these kids, their faces light up, because they a lot of the kids are told that college is the one track road to success, and sometimes that's not an option for everybody, or sometimes they don't want that to be their only option.
Right.
So for
Doesn't
them,
mean they can't either.
no, absolutely not.
Right.
Yeah, they
exactly.
definitely can, but just for them to see there's an opportunity for me to make some real money and to have a very real, fulfilling career in construction. I didn't know everything about construction either. I joined the company because I knew I wanted to be with a company that was looking to make a change in the world. And I knew that this is what we were doing in construction, right? So I didn't even know anything about construction. I didn't know that it wasn't just a hard hat and a hammer. There's technology. There's so much stuff behind it that people don't know about. So really these events bring that to the forefront. All of the opportunities, all of the different routes from college, from trade school. So that to me was really awesome. Just being able to see the change that we're making right there in person. We don't always get to see that because we are remote, we're a consultancy also. So to be at these events where we see that change being made, that was my favorite part.
And I think what you guys both hit on, honestly, was the transformational process, right? It's you're hearing one thing like, okay, we're gonna come to this event, it's gonna expose you to something, but is there like a career fair? Is it not? Is it gonna be like this 10 by 10 tent and I just have some brochures? It's not neither. It truly is a submersion into the industry to really give them in real time accessibility, right? And the opportunity to see it differently than what they knew it once was. Right? And it definitely is beyond the hard hat and the hammer.
And then also when you think about the immediate impact of it, I think it was IBT Miami, I believe, maybe it was Chicago, it's IBT Chicago, which was my first one. And at the end of the event, they kind of have like this closeout, if you will, like culminating, Paul speaks, some of the CEOs or presidents of the various general and subcontractors speak, some of the people for Target or the brand speak. And one of the things that was offered, I believe, by the union was opportunities for internship and application for jobs. And I think there were only like 7 hands that didn't go up out of 90 some odd kids. Only 7 hands did not go up. And it wasn't so much like, ooh, pick me. It was like, no, where's the application? Like they're like hunting it down. That's the immediate change that I'm talking about. These kids literally came to the parking lot, came into this event thinking that they're about to go grocery shopping or, go find some cute at Target to say they were at an event. And they came out like, no, electrician, carpet, flooring, they're like, sign me up. And then also, I think the really great side of it is that the eye-opening piece of it, because it's not something that I think about. And I go to Target almost 4 days a week. I never thought about how the building got here. I never thought about the things that are in here, how they got here. I just know it's here. I get to pick up my cup and go about my day. And so thinking about that piece of it and the fact that I could work for a Target or this or that and still be in construction. And then there's so many things that construction offers. I remember talking to one guy, I don't want to say he had a dim outlook on life, but he was like prepared to be like, oh, I make $18 to $19 an hour and that's okay. And I was like, well, what do you want to be? And he mentioned something about business, and he mentioned something about like working in a warehouse or something. And I was like, we were at the distribution center. I was like, you do realize that this distribution center is being built for that purpose. I said, but if you like working with your hands and you think $19 to $20 is some actual money, go ask that 27-year-old guy right there. Don't ask him how much he makes, but like, go talk to him. don't ask him that question, but just go talk to him about what he does on a daily basis and tell me if you cannot resonate and relate. If anything he's saying doesn't resonate with you and you can't relate, and none of that sparks your thought process into something else you can do. And I'm not saying that what your trajectory for your life is not good enough, but I'm telling you that I have a way of elevating you and getting you outside of, oh, I'll just make $20 an hour and I'll be okay. I can get you to 80K in 6 years if you would just go over there and go talk. It's just so it's just like that immediate impact.
Yeah,
what
that's
you
honest
need to do.
perspective.
I mean,
Yes.
that's the power of
Yeah.
exposure, though.
Yeah.
I think people make decisions based on the options they think they have.
Exactly.
And
what's in reach.
sometimes others are exposed to options that they can make some very informed decisions. Sometimes people are exposed to limited options. And I think one of the things that is thematic within our society is that this industry that employs so many different people and that is so large of a component of our economy, we don't necessarily have that presented in front of us all the time, and the different options that you can have within that industry. When you think of an industry being that large, every single job that you can think of just about falls under that umbrella of the construction industry in some shape, form, or fashion. And so just being able to make those tangible connections to what their current interests are, or what they don't know that they could be interested in, I think is a large component of having practical, like, community engagement opportunities that just create that exposure, because you never know, right, what light bulbs come on. And so that's the transformative piece, going back to how you went into it, not knowing exactly like what it would be like. Kids do. They come into the events not really knowing things, and we don't want to give all the details away because we still hold some things close to the vest, and we've got the tour coming up. That's coming up, and so we're super excited about that. This fall, we're in the Show Me State, so we're in St. Louis, venturing out to Kansas City, going down south to the ATL, hot Atlanta, as I call it, out west in LA, and then up north, man, in Detroit, actually. So so it's super exciting, and I think that's a testament to the impact, because you can do something that you think people are going to gravitate to, but you still have to wait to see if it resonates with them, and so to be as thoughtful as you can about reaching them, affirming them, and then giving them tools, right, to become what they have the potential to become. And you do that in a very genuine way. They respond well to that. And so it's a huge testament to that, I think. But for one, it's not necessarily just to get up and talk about like what we have going on, but I think if anything, you can take away some transferable like principles and components, right? If you are an industry employer, it's like, first, know your community. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like know your community, know what the felt needs are. Because if you communicate things that don't reach people where they are, and you're not tuned in to maybe the barriers or the particulars of their life or what have you, then you could have something great to offer, but if you don't meet them in a way that it's relevant for them and tangible, then now you're speaking so far above like where I am, to where I think, like you're out of touch.
Exactly.
And I think that's one of the components that you can take away as an employer, is to make sure that you know your community, that you know your audience, you know, and tap into that intrinsic value of your current team. Like, people want to add value, and sometimes, you know, and that's whatever industry, whatever line of business that you do, I think people want to be attached to something that's bigger than them.
That sense of belonging
You
as
know,
well.
being attached to something that's bigger than them. And if you get a chance to make that connection between what they know, what they can offer, how they could be a part of transforming somebody else's life, and if replicated, somebody's family, and if replicated, somebody's community, and if replicated, your society, you know what I'm saying? Then I think now you begin to tap into that intrinsic value that we all have to be a part of something greater and adding value in different ways. You know what I'm saying? And so super, super cool and excited. You know, and so just some things that we wanted to talk through, you know, about the IBT in particular, some of those aspects of what makes the event a success, you know, and we're just saying that from what's been given back to us. You know, feedback is a gift. So that's what's been communicated back to us, is that, hey, ConstructReach, you guys have something here. We hear that both from the industry, from educators, and from the students. And those are the major three stakeholders that we're really trying to create that alignment with. And so if they're telling us that this is needed and they're asking for it, you know, then we have to be a good steward over this opportunity, but not just kind of hold it all in, but to showcase, hey, you guys go make that happen in your community too, because you can't be everywhere at the same time. But there are similar felt needs everywhere, especially when we're talking about careers and creating a life for yourself. So
yeah.
I
mean, it's a social economic game changer. As soon as a person has more understanding of what everybody has, innate gifts. So all we're doing in this particular moment with IBT, honestly, is saying, hey, you have a gift. Did you know that you can use that same gift in this industry, right? To help grow it, sustain it, and also diversify it, you know, quite frankly. And I think, like you said before, employers, industry stakeholders just need to understand just the value and the significance that they have in just broadening that perspective for the long haul, but also how intentional that can play out in the immediate.
So I mean, you know, as we wrap up and, you know, we're kind of looking forward to what's coming up this fall, you know, Meredith, just touch on like how they can get more information on these events as they're upcoming, right?
So on top of the IBuiltThis events, the IBT events, we also have an amazing network, and you can find us in that network. The link to the network is below, so click like, click share, click that network, find us. You got Rebecca, Meredith, Ebony, Paul, and then not here today is Jen and Therese. So find us out there and connect with us in the network. We're always in there. We're always giving out shout outs, high fives, hellos, whatever the case may be. You can also find us info@constructreach.com. Again, we're always willing and wanting to connect and, you know, do what we can for the community, for yourselves, for the industry, for the educators. That's what we're here for.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and then at ConstructReach on all social media handles.
Oh yeah.
You know,
Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn,
IG,
etc.
IG, we're out there. Yes.
You know, and then, you know, I know Rebecca's got some things that she's working on, you know, as we get, you know, ramped up and really kind of creating this narrative around the events and going from city to city and, you know, making that content, you know, very impactful to show, you know, kind of how you can begin to touch different communities and, you know, the overarching kind of story that it tells. But yeah, I mean, go into that a little bit, Rebecca, about kind of what we're going to be doing.
Yes,
you know,
guys, I'm excited. We're going to be vlogging, which it's new for our YouTube channel. We have a YouTube channel. Be sure to go subscribe. That's what you're probably watching this on. If you're watching it visually, if you're on Spotify, head on over there. But we will be vlogging, which is going to be a very cool insight to the behind the scenes world of our IBuiltThis events, right? So if you go to our YouTube right now, we have 3 to 5 minute video clips of IBuiltThis. We don't have anything behind the scenes. You don't get to see how we set up necessarily, you know? So by vlogging, you guys will be able to follow us traveling. You'll get some like behind the scenes talks from Paul with some stakeholders, GCs, politicians in a couple areas, or students that it really had an impact on. So I'm very excited for that because it gives you the behind the scenes look. You get to see how we are literally meeting these people physically and bringing the opportunities to them. I mean, we have job opportunities that we provide at the end and say, if you want this, sign up, like there's an application. So you'll get to see that. We also have a live stream, so you'll be able to see some things in real time. We'll be walking through the event and you can see the setup, the stations, the students, and how everything's going down. So all of that will be announced on our social media channels as well, again, at ConstructReach, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and TikTok, and YouTube. So be sure to keep up with us.
Oh, yeah.
Keep up with us. We can keep up with you. And just follow us through our I Built This tour, IBT tour, 2022.
Yeah.
Fall.
And don't forget that network can be found in the app.
In
So
the
we have an
Apple
app.
Store.
Yeah. Go ahead and explain that, Rebecca.
Yes, yeah, in Apple and Android App Store. We have the ConstructReach social network, which is the ConstructReach community, CRC, if you will. But that is the app that we use to partner our students with the educators as well and industry partners. They get a chance to network. They have access to some really awesome professional development curriculum in there as well. So be sure to check that out and join our community so we can talk with you and you can stay up with all the latest of ConstructReach.
And connect with us because we're in there too.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. So super excited, man. Of course, it's always good to have the team on. I like these episodes where, we just get a chance to just chop it up a bit, talk about, some things that we're doing that could be, maybe a source of creative kind of, opportunity for a listener to kind of gain some insights from and begin to ideate around it and tailor some things that fit within their context of their company and what makes sense in their community as well. All right, so we are looking forward to what's coming up. But before we let you go, if you are an educator that may be listening, Ebony has some information for you, maybe a call to action if you want to get involved. So Ebony.
Absolutely. So I wanted to make sure you guys know this is easy. We don't have to overthink this. As we think about wanting to bridge the gap between industry and education so that our students have readily available access to opportunities within this industry, I got two things. Industry partners, identify schools and programs that have a CTE pathway with construction, technology, or business. Tap in. Ask those educators, what can you be doing to make sure the industry is accessible to those students? Okay, my educators, as you're driving by project sites, as you're seeing new construction happen, find those leaders and ask them, hey, are you actively involved in reaching out to the students? Are you looking for an opportunity? Hey, I got this classroom that's in this particular pathway that would love to hear from you and what they need to do to be preparing for the industry. Let's start working collaboratively together, right? To create the change and to bridge the gap so we can continue to have building reachable opportunities in construction.
Thanks, team, for being on. That is a wrap for us today. And we out.
All right.
Thanks again, everybody, for tuning into our show. Remember, like, share, subscribe to the podcast, and join the movement as we reach to build a better future that we can all be proud of.